Hello everyone and welcome to episode 114 of the Cherry Heart podcast. I'm Sandra and this is a crafty podcast featuring crochet, knitting and sewing mainly. You will be able to find the show notes for the podcast on my blog, which is cherryheart.co.uk, and I'll also drop the link in the down bar on YouTube. That's where I'll pop the sort of pattern names or yarn names or relevant information about the things I talk about. You can also, video chapters. You can also jump through the sections of this video using the video chapters. I'll put the timestamps again on the down bar on YouTube, or you can just use the little chapters bar on the bottom of the screen. You can also find me on Instagram as Sandra Cherry HRT and other places around the web as Cherry Heart. So how are you? How have you been? What have you been up to? Is it getting warmer where you are? Or, well, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, is it getting colder if you're in the South? Because here it feels like it's been quite a mild winter so far, it feels like. And yeah, it feels like the first signs of spring are already coming. I've seen snowdrops, I've even seen a daffodil. Yeah, you would have seen that in the intro actually. I've been taking some video of that. So anyway, it's quite nice to see. And I'm hoping sort of we don't have one of those horrible cold snaps before we get to a decent bit of spring weather. Anyway, I'm going to start showing you what I've been up to because it's been a couple of weeks, but a sort of couple of long weeks, like a couple of weeks and a bit. So it feels like I've got a lot to talk about, but I'm trying to break it up into chunks so my podcast don't get too long, because otherwise it's too difficult to upload in our rubbishy internet area. So let's talk about a finished object. So this was a work in progress on my last podcast, and it is my Polesden Wrap. It's by Amy Dowden, who is Little Tailoress Studio. I can't remember quite what her name is. She changed it at one point. I don't know if she changed it back or not. Anyway, if you search Polesden Wrap or Amy Dowden, I'm sure you will find it. So yes, this is a slightly modified version because mine is a DK weight, and the original pattern, I think she does two different versions, a fingering weight version and then a sort of slightly different one. So yeah, so because I did this with a Advent Minis, 20 gram Advent Minis, I didn't have quite enough to work the pattern as written, so I modified it slightly, and I think I did less repeats. I think I did 2 less. I can't quite remember now in all honesty, but I think I did 2 less. And yes, it is now. Let's give you a preview of the colour. This was mostly done last week, to be fair, so you've sort of seen it. I'll try and give you like a flyby so you can see all the colours on the conveyor belt. Smooth, isn't this? Seamless the way I've done this, all the way through to those green ones. So I think these last sort of, some are in the blue section where I showed you last time. Yeah. So I talked about reworking it slightly because I wanted to make the most of the last two colours, 23 and 24 here. I did mix up the order ever so slightly, not much. There was just a couple I shuffled around at the beginning here. And I think a couple of these blues I might have shuffled slightly as well. Yeah, I did write the colour order down on Ravelry. But yeah, it's like quite dramatic sort of gradient, isn't it really? Flapping it around like a crazy person. yeah, so I don't think there's anything else much to say about that. Did I say the yarn was Beehive yarns? That was the advent calendar. So it was the calendar from this Christmas just gone. Yeah, so I've seen a few projects popping up with this, and it looks really pretty. Right, pretty, these colours. So yeah, I haven't blocked it, so I think mostly like there I don't think you need it, but I guess my bottom's a little bit, perhaps would look a little bit neater if I blocked it, but I'll just crack on and not worry about it too much, because I don't think it needs much. The only thing I'm not sure about with this, so this has been, I guess, a total process knit. I'm normally more of a product knitter, so I'm more interested in the end product usually. That's my motivation, and I hope to enjoy the process, but it's normally definitely because I want something at the end of it that gets me through. This one, I guess, was all about the process really, because I've loved the yarns. You know, I've loved adding each colour on and seeing how it looks. You know, taking it out of the little skein and winding it up, see how it looks, knitting it up, seeing how it looks then. Yeah, that's been really, really enjoyable. And the pattern itself I've enjoyed making. It's, you know, it's got a nice little bit of interest there. It looks very pretty, but it's simple enough that you can quickly memorise it, and then you know what you're doing, and so you don't have to think about it too hard. So yeah, it's been a lovely project to make. It's been lovely yarn to work with, and I love the finished result, but I don't think it's really something I would wear. I think the colours are kind of a bit bold for what I would generally wear nowadays. So I'm not really quite sure what to do with it now, but it sort of doesn't bother me, you know, the fact I've made it and possibly won't wear it, that I'm not finding that upsetting. I think I normally would, but I feel like I've got all the enjoyment out of it already, so I'm fine with that. So yeah, I don't know whether to sort of try and gift it to someone, or I don't know really. I don't really know what to do with it. Because the thing with gifting things is you sort of, it's not so much the knit worthiness, although obviously that's a factor, but it's more you want to give it to someone that you know will like it, because otherwise it's no point. I don't want to sort of give it to someone and they go, yeah, that's lovely, but it's not really my bag either. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking at this and thinking, oh yes, this really screams blah, I'll give it to them, they'd love this. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what will happen to it, but I love it as an item. You know, I love it as a thing. I'm just not quite sure what to do with the thing now I've got it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Now we've got some sort of aircraft, some sort of weird droning racket going on. I can't see anything. I don't know if it's a helicopter or a plane or what it is. So I normally talk about the things I've done first, so let's carry on in that vein. So I've done my last box of Alice Caroline Flower Garden Quilt. Well, I say I've done it, I haven't completely done it, because in the last box you got the sort of December hexagons, but also included in that was the little finishing sort of filler hexagons, and I haven't done those yet. But let me just show you what I have done. So this one is one of the, so these are the December ones I'm showing you now. So there's that one which has got these beautiful greys in. It's strange because this is one of my favourite ones I've made, but I feel like it looks quite different in the flesh to how it looks on camera. They always seem to look a little bit different on camera. I'm not quite sure what that is. Yeah. So there's that one. Then we had this half, which I really like. That's really pretty. The only thing is, It's got these dark tones in which look gorgeous, but most of the quilt is quite light apart from some of it which is really bold, and I feel like it makes the bold ones really stand out and you lose a little something from the light ones, but it's the light ones that I like best. But I do love that. I love all the fabrics. That was gorgeous. And then the last one is this one, which is another sort of bluey red one. And that is all my hexagons done. So now I will begin the horrendous and scary, terrifying task of joining them all together. Yeah, so I've got to make my little filler bits. So if you imagine I've sewed these two together, it's to go in that shape there. So you can square off the ends and actually sew it round as a quilt. So I need to make those up and then I'll be sewing it together. Yeah, so if it took me kind of a year, more or less, to make the basic hexagons, I'm going to allow myself this year, 2022, to actually get it assembled and into some kind of finished quilt. I was thinking the other day, I was swinging between either really sort of, I've enjoyed doing the hexagons, but they do take quite a while, and I feel like I kind of could do with a break from all that hand sewing and having that big project each month to sort of feel like I want to do. So although I've enjoyed it, I was ready for the end of it, and I kind of want to put it away for a bit now and have a bit of a rest from it. But on the other hand, I do fear very much that if I do put it away for a bit, I will just not want to pick it up again. So because I'm getting a bit of that feeling, my instinct is keep going, keep going, keep going, otherwise you'll never do it. So I might get started on the sewing together sort of sooner rather than later, because I'm worried I won't do it otherwise, basically. Yes. But I'll let you know how it goes. Next I've got, actually what have I got? Where have I put those? Oh, I've lost something. Hang on, I've got to pause 1 moment. Right, where was I? Yeah, so finished objects. I mean, these are kind of finished objects, I guess. So my painted anemones, I saw a picture on Instagram where someone had made up some painted anemones motifs, but in Cath Kidston colours, and I'll put their name up here because it was such a pretty picture and it really inspired me. So I thought I would try some Cath Kidston-esque versions of my motifs. So I did an extra round. So this is the original motif to this white round here, and then in that white round normally I'd be joining to the next one. So I've added another border of Cath Kidston colour. So originally I just did 4 in these colours. So a green one, the blue that you've seen, the pink, and a yellow. Now you can't get, I'll use myself as a little baseboard, a little backboard here. You can't get the full effect without seeing all 4 colours at once, I don't think. Look! Oh my goodness, how pretty! Yeah, so I just did 1 extra border round at first, but I have actually added another little row. Ooh, let's get that to focus on that. Come on, there we go. Another little round of DCs down there as well. But yeah, I just really love how this looks in these colours. Do you remember, I think she might still have it as a pattern actually, the Cath Kidston, I think it's called Province Rose or Provincial Rose or something, design. She had it for plates and whatnot. It really reminds me of that. So yeah, I kind of really like the idea, I was going to say, of doing a blanket with these borders and joining them. So I joined a few together to see how it looks in the same colour, which I kind of liked, but actually I think it would look better if you kept the different colour bordered and put those all in. How cute could that look? I really need to get, I've said before on the podcast, I need like a display board so I can prop up and it was sort of, you know, so I could stick things to it like fuzzy felt. I really need that. I must sort that out. I was thinking like a bit of board covered in like some quilt wadding or something, so it had a bit of grippiness to it, might work. But yeah, if you sort of laid them out together, I think it could make a really nice blanket. So I might make another one of each of these colours. So I've got 3 here, so I've got a blue. If I made one more of this middle, I could do, so I've got the blue, I could do a green, a pink, and then one more to be the yellow, say. And then I would have 2 of each colour. I might just put that together and see how that looks as a sort of little blanket idea, because I quite like that. At the moment I've just done these as sort of little separate things. I guess I thought I could just use them as little doily type things. I had like my flowers on it the other day. So yeah, I might just, you know, you could put your tea on there, couldn't you? Although, don't drop your tea and make the colours stained. Yeah, but you could use them for little things like that. Or I might put them on my fireplace and sort of pop some of my candles on things, because as we're starting to come out of the wintry feel now, I could take my snowflakes off and have these on the mantel as like my little springtime decoration. But yeah, so I really like those. But then putting that board around got me thinking about, it sort of cried out pot holder to me as well. I thought, wouldn't that make a pretty pot holder? So I tried that out as well. So I haven't actually got the proper handle on this, but I put a back on and I've done an extra round with these little picots and things. And I think it makes a very pretty pot holder as well. So I tried with that one. So all of these are Sheepyear's yarn, Sheepyear's stone washed in various different colours. And I'm starting a little bit to run out of colours, but running out of colours that I want to put together. These are lovely. But yeah, I'm running out of colours that look nice together. So then I thought, oh, I know what range has got a load of nice colours. The bamboos, the Bamboo Naturals range. So I thought I would try some of those out. So I've made this one, so I've actually put the proper loop on this time. So I could actually use it as a pot holder. Again, it is quite pretty and pristine, and I don't know if I want to get it dirty. But maybe it could be more of a decorative wall hanging type pot holders. I like that as well, just these little crochet motifs and all hung up. A bit like how you would sort of put plates on a wall. I think they just look so pretty like that. So I might just do that with them. But yeah, anyway, so I did that one. But I really love these sort of slightly more subtle chalky colours for the naturals. Oh my goodness. I finished these the other day and I still can't quite get over how pretty they are, if I do say so myself. It's just the colours, you know, you sort of combine them, you're like, oh, that's good, and then you combine them in a slightly different way, you're like, still good. You know, you can't go wrong with these colours almost. They're just, oh, I think this one is up there for a kind of a favourite, although this one is very good as well. Although actually this one might be my utter favourite. Oh, so pretty. These two. I love them. Then I was thinking, maybe you could make an entire blanket naturals version. That would look awesome as well. So amazing. So yeah, I don't really want to dive in and just make another blanket of the blanket I've just made. But at the same time, it's kind of tempting. So I don't know whether to put that down as a, well, that's something I want to do one day, or mess around with it more now, or quite what. I do want to do a few more of these Cath Kidston ones. Just a couple more, just to see how they look sat together. And I haven't got too many more of some of these natural colours I'm very low of, so I'd have to get some more. before I could experiment more with that. But I do like that idea. If I did do a blanket, I don't know quite how I'd finish it though, because the border as it's written, I mean, I guess so you could probably fudge it and make it work, but certainly as it's written it wouldn't, the numbers don't work out, because obviously you've got another round, so that would change everything, and the filler hexagons and all that sort of thing. So that's sort of part of what's putting me off as well. I was like, oh, I can't bother to think about that in a minute. But they are so pretty, so I don't know. If I can't leave it, I might end up pursuing that. But yeah, so I've thought maybe I could just sort of release what I have so far as a little pattern though. So maybe just the sort of, you know, how I've done them as a little doily and a little pot holder or something. So I might pop that up into a sort of little separate pattern or something. Or maybe it's not worth doing. Maybe if you've got the blanket pattern, you just go, well, I can stick an extra round on it myself. Don't really need a pattern for that. I don't know. Don't know if that's worthwhile or not. I did make a note of what I did though, just, you know, in case I wanted to write it up as a pattern, but just for my own reference as much as anything, because I do forget things otherwise. But yes, that was fun. That was fun to play with, and I think I'm not quite done yet. Let's pop that over there. So that's my done things. Now something I have started. So this is a new start since last time, I believe. Let's try and get this out without making too much racket. So I'll show you what I'm making. Not a great picture because I just printed it out in black and white. So it's the Perec Vest. So that's a sort of picture. So basically it's I mean, we used to call them tank tops here in the UK. I think the vest, I guess, is more of an American term, or slipovers I've heard them called as well, I guess. I don't know where these terms come from, but I would know that as a tank top basically. I think vest sounds a bit nicer. Yes, and I am using, so this is by the way, Orland Souchet. Get the name up on there. So it's Tete Beche knitwear by Orland Souchet. I'm guessing she's French, but yeah. Tete. Maybe it's not tete. It's just tete, isn't it? Like head. Tete Beche. I don't know. Yes, anyway, so that's who it's by, and then I'm using Drops Nord to make it in. So I got myself some drops yarn. I've got some there before Christmas, and I got 4 balls of this, and I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do with it, but I was thinking maybe a garment or maybe some element in a sort of more muted, subtle coloured blanket or something. But it turned out I had this yardage was right for the size I wanted to make of this. So yeah, that's what I've gone for, and I kind of wanted something a bit, I'm not very good with rustic yarns because anything remotely, you know, I'm just very sensitive to anything like that, anything real wool basically. I can't sort of, I can't take it. Yeah, anything remotely toothy or that's not soft as soft, I have a problem with. So this is, what is it? It's 45% alpaca, 30% polyamide, and it's only 25% wool, and that's the right side of the line for me. The alpaca softens it up, and the polyamide softens it up enough that I can, yeah, I can be okay with that. So that's what I've gone for. It's fingering weight yarn. This is colour 07, apparently, and this is what I've got so far. Doesn't look very impressive, but there it is. So this is, I'm on my second ball of yarn now, and I've just joined, last night I just joined for under the sleeves. So the construction's a little bit, well, it's quite clever actually, a bit unusual. I cast on, and So this is the edge you cast on, this back edge. And I was following the instructions. I thought, I've no idea what I'm making here, how this is gonna, you know, turn out to be what it's supposed to be. But I just kept following and like, okay, I can see it now. So basically you make this back bit and somehow you sort of start bringing it around and you start working these front bits. Yeah, so then you make the front bits down and do some shaping and stuff and bring that down as far as the armpits, and then you work the back down as far as the armpits, and then you can join it. And I'm assuming I've sort of done the setup row because there's some stitch markers and things in here, so I'm assuming once I've sort of worked the setup row I'm going to just keep knitting for quite a while now. Oh, I've got a funny bit there. What's happened there? What has happened there? I've got a weird, looks like well, I don't know what it looks like I've done actually. An extra, I don't know, maybe it's just a bit of an uneven bit. It looks like I've sort of, I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure it'll all come out in the block. Yeah, so I've got a few bits here that are on you know, yarn, so I guess we come back to that at some point. And yeah, there's lots of ends from joining bits in and starting bits again, so it's all very exciting sort of seeing it come together. I'm like, oh, what am I doing now? Oh, I see, that's going to be that bit. Okay, you know. Just I've had faith in the pattern, I followed along and it's all working out lovely, so fantastic. It does look quite small. I'm a bit concerned at how small it looks, but obviously it's rolling up a lot, so it's hard to tell. And I think now I've sort of, you know, once you do some increases for under the sleeve and you get the whole thing joined around, I think it's going to be looking, I think it's looking all right, because it's quite, it looks reasonably loose-ish fit there. It's not like sort of figure hugging, is it? So I don't, you know, that's what I want. I want a loose fit. I don't want a figure hugging fit. And I'm getting gauge. I didn't bother to swatch because, to be honest, I never really do. I prefer the stupid leap in and spend weeks and weeks in knitting on it and then find out it's all wrong at the end approach, which is, you know, very sensible. Yeah, just looking here, sort of almost looks like it's coming down off. You know, it's not like a vest top that's sitting on her shoulder; it's coming down her arm, isn't it? And that's what I quite liked about it. Yes. So that's coming along nicely, basically, and I'm anticipating, hopefully it should seem like quite a quick knit because no sleeves or anything. Yeah, so you never know, I might even have that finished next time. Maybe. So that's on the go. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, I've got some incoming goodies, I'll show you those in a moment. But I wanted to show you that my little girl, who is not a little girl anymore, she's a big teen girl, she started crocheting again. Now she does this every so often. She'll go, oh, I'll do some crochet, and I'll show her what to do, and she'll get going. You know, and each time she has a little go, she gets better at getting the hang of it. You know, she gets the hang of it very quicker each time. So she's started making a granny square, and then she wasn't happy that it wasn't very neat, so she undid that, started a new one, and she started doing rainbow colours. She said, I'm going to do a bigger square and I'm going to do colours of the rainbow. So she was doing 2 rounds of each colour and working her way through, and she got sort of to a square about this size, and she was like, oh, I think I'll just make it into a vest top. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good, that's exciting. So I said, are you just going to sort of sew it together, you know, at the tops and the side? She was like, yeah, I think I'll do that. I was like, okay, you know, great, just make that square, make another square, and you can do that. I said it might be quite nice, you know, if you wanted to, you could sort of make a bit down the side so it sort of fits around your shape a little bit better, but you don't have to. I said you can have it looser and oversized if you want. She was like, all right, okay. So in the end she did her squares, and then she just did a few rows up here and a few rows over here to kind of make a little shoulder piece. And then she at the bottom of the square, she kind of she left a gap where the armhole would be, and then she went down the side, added a little bit of length and up the other side for 2 rows. So she did that to both sides, and then She just sewed her little shoulder pieces together, sewed her sewed pieces together, and she's made herself a garment. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So I wanted to have it to show you, but I can't find it. I don't know where she's put it. She's off on a field trip this week, so I can't get, so I don't know where she's put it, and I wanted to show you, and I don't think I'll have time to get a picture in to show you. So I might pop this section in next week and show you it then. But anyway, so that was very exciting. So after she made that though, then while she was making it even, she was like, oh, I could make, you know, and she was planning the next project. I thought, oh, I've got her this time. It might not last, but it was just so lovely to see it. So my sister-in-law is expecting a baby. So she said, oh, I'll make something for the baby. So she said, I want to make one of those like little toy things where they, you know, little comforter things. So she picked out this rabbit head out of a book, and she's just made a little square and attached that to it. So the pattern for the rabbit head is from Emma Varmland's book, which is Cute Crocheted Animals. I'll pop it up here so you can see. So I've had it for quite a while, and I've made animals out of it myself. Oh, and animals for her actually. So she was like, oh, those animals you used to make, I could just make the head bit, and then I'll just do like a square bit. I was like, okay, great. So she made the rabbit head. It's quite her gauge is a little loose, so it's quite a chubby rabbit head compared to the original pattern. And it's got like wonky ears, which she loved. She loved that they came out wonky. And she's sewn its little face on, and I had the eyes all ready to go, so that was fine. And then I said, oh, are you just going to do a granny, you know, she was going to do a granny square, and I said, oh, I can show you how to do a solid square if you like, then it'll be a bit more filled in, it might be a bit nicer. She was like, oh yeah, show me how to do that. So I need to block it for her really, it's kind of curled up. But she did a little square, and then she added a little tail to its bottom as well. Isn't that sweet? So my sister-in-law doesn't watch this podcast, so we're not spoiling any surprises here. But that's her little gift for the baby when it comes. And then while we were, so because I got the book out for this, then she started looking through the book, and now she's made this. She's made one of the foxes. Oh, isn't it good? Look at its face. I love its face. It's so adorable. So we didn't have any of the sort of browny, orangey, foxy type colour, so we went for this. So she said, I think it looks a bit wolfy. A bit more like a wolf than a fox because of the colours I've got. But we thought, well, that didn't really matter. We didn't mind that it could possibly be a wolf. But yeah, she's just, I don't know, she's just really taken to it this time, and she's sitting down with me each night and, oh, I'll get my crochet out, she says. Yeah, so she's made all of this all by herself. She's reading the patterns by herself as well. So at first, you know, she'd only made treble stitches, UK treble stitches. So so she's like, what is this double, you know? So I showed her that and just sort of said, oh, you know, a DC, that means make a double crochet. She's like, oh, okay. And she was away reading it. And occasionally she'll check, she'll like, oh, does this mean do this? And I'll be like, yeah. She's like, okay, great. So yeah, she's taken to it like a fish to water, as they say. So she's made the dungarees, and she adapted them because I think the dungarees are for a different animal that doesn't have a tail. So I said, we'll just, you know, get to the, she made the trousers for the fox. I said, and follow the bit where it has, you know, the hole for the tail. I said, and once you've done that bit, switch back to the pattern for the dungarees and then follow the dungaree pattern to finish it off. So she did that. So she made her dungarees. I love its tail. Look how it's got like a little kink in it, like a real fluffed out fat tail. I love it with the white tip. It's my favourite bit. So the dungarees she enjoyed doing. She picked out these buttons to put on it from my button stash. And then she's made it this little stripy t-shirt. There was some talk of it having a coat, but I think the t-shirt, she was a little bit more... Once she sewed it together, she was like, yeah, that's a bit fiddly, I don't know about that. So I don't know if she'll end up going on to make a coat, but I think she certainly wanted to make a hat or something. She's got another colour wool picked out, so I think she wants to do something else. Oh, she started trainers, that's what she started. So it's got some shoes. So before she went away, she started those. I just couldn't wait to show you. I'm so proud. Yeah, so that's fun. So I say it probably won't last, you know. She'll get fed up with it in a bit, but it's just so lovely to see. And also it makes me think, you know, maybe at some point in her life she will come back to it again, because she's been doing it enough now that she's really got the hang of it, that it wouldn't take her very long at all to pick it up again whenever she wanted to, really. So yeah, so that's nice. So I wanted to share that with you. And then my incoming goodies. So it was my birthday in January, and I saw my lovely friend Sam, who many of you will know from the Betsy Makes podcast when she was still podcasting, and the Betsy Makes blogs. Yes, lovely, lovely Sam. So she got me a couple of bits for my birthday, and I just want to share those because they're crafty related. I've got it in a... It keeps blowing out really white, doesn't it? I've got it in a bag, so I'm just hoping I can avoid crinkle. So she got me this beautiful sock set from the Wool Barn. Isn't that the prettiest thing? That colour yarn. It was wrapped in tissue. And you know when you sort of get, like, the tissue just moves and you get a little glimpse of the colour before you open it fully, and I was like, oh, I'm going to love it. I'm not exactly sure what's in here, but I know I'm going to love it. So that is gorgeous. So I want to make a really lovely special pair of socks with that. I really like that. I like that it's solid colours. I love the shade of this blue. I love that it's got that nice silver with it. I love everything about it. And then she also got me, as if that wasn't enough, by the way, she also got me this absolutely adorable rabbit print bag. Isn't that so sweet? And that peachy colour. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's kind of got like a little, he's got his scarf on, so it's kind of got a little wintry theme, which I really love. And look, it's got a little, ever so cute little stitch marker with it as well. Oh, honestly, I could not be more pleased with these gifts. They're absolutely perfect. Yes, so I will make my socks and I will put the project in my gorgeous bag, and I will be very, very happy with doing that. And I'm kind of saving that. I guess I'll probably wait till this is done, maybe. Yeah, because I've also got a blanket project in mind, so I need to get some more things out before I start another thing, and I think I can probably only manage really one knitting project at a time. So yeah, I will get the vest done, and then I think I might save that for my little next thing to look forward to, because I haven't been remotely drawn really lately to make many socks again until I got that, and then I thought, yeah, that's got to be a really lovely just pair of kind of bed socks, I guess. I don't suppose I'll really wear them in bed that much because my feet will explode, but you know, just that nice lounging around, cozying up, gorgeous cozy socks to wear kind of thing. So that's what I want to do with that. Right, I'm going to leave it there because I've paused once already and this is on its own long enough to be an actual podcast. So I will leave it there and I will let you go about your days, go about your business, and I will see you next time. Yeah, have fun till then and have some lovely, relaxing, crafty moments if you possibly can. See you next time. Bye. What are you making, Millie?
You know what I'm making, Mum.